welcome. That's how I'm starting it now. I've embraced it. I feel like this is who I am. I just start with the welcome. But not only is this welcome to the Scary Whispers podcast, welcome to the only podcast that knows what you smell like fresh out of the shower. I'm your host.
The viewers smell like?
Yep. I'm your host, the Santokester, and this has been my co-host, this tank top to Larry
Don't put that in. Don't put that in.
But what?
Don't
what
put that in.
Which one? There's a lot of things. I'll cut it shorter. How about that?
Okay.
I'll figure it out. So, buddy, this is the new studio, quote unquote, right? There's a whole new setup. Mm-hmm. We're wearing different headphones, and we have a different the whole vibe I feel like in here is very much different than the room, at least for me, right? Because before
I think it's cool because there's an obvious subsection, and like how you have your record up here.
Yeah, this is like my space.
And then you can just create that.
I have a mini fridge now.
Yeah,
I have a mini fridge. I have like the little liquor thingy right here. It's cool, man. It's a very cool setup. If there's like new background noises, like that's something we're gonna have to figure out and how that goes. But
I'm so excited
because
we're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I want to put currently looking for a bar cart to put in the entrance of our room.
I don't want this.
Really?
I want to put obviously it's like my other half or whatever, you know, like it's very much who's going to pick what. But like personally, I want everything to be like black and white, monochromatic.
Oh, or like already know anything I get, I'm spraying shit out of it with spray paint.
I don't fucking give a shit, but this space is currently evolving.
Yeah.
And everything around us is currently changing.
Same.
So, you know, whatever stays the same, and whatever doesn't. But, like, for now, this is how it sounds, and this is how it is, and the vibe in here, it's pretty fucking groovy.
I think it's cool, too, like, because how we're talking about the records and how you can turn this into your space.
Yeah, it is.
Like, me and Zeke, how we're doing the walk-in closet, and he has his side, and I have my side, and I'm excited to, like, decorate our, like, put all, like, he has that sword that you gave him.
Yeah.
Different shit that he likes.
It's a cool sword.
Yeah, and so I want to, like, put all that shit up on his side, and then, like, my posters, things that like don't normally go with like, you know, I'm very
like
shit I put up.
When you go into your place, there's like almost like a retro modern dark aesthetic. It's like I don't know the actual names for these things.
There's like a Victorian,
maybe
antique-ish, but like I've always wanted a space like outside of that to still feel like my high school bedroom. You know what I mean? I want my fucking posters and
it's
random
like a personality
shit.
kind of like a. Yeah,
where like it doesn't really matter. It's just like this is a jumble of shit that I love and it makes me happy. Yeah, and I think that's what we're gonna do with the closet.
We haven't recorded in a while, and I think it's part of it. Just all the changes going on. You've had changes in your life. I'm definitely like this whole fucking situation that I'm in right now. It's all just changing. So I think because of the changes in our lives, that's like why. You know, I've been working a lot.
But can we also cheers because like. I feel like
what?
The four of us are just fucking glowing.
Yeah, sure.
Like, since everything.
I think we're all prospering in our own way.
Me and Zeke go on walks, like, every single day, dude. It's fucking sick.
And I have a mini fridge. Yeah. No, but it's cool, man. I love, like, the shit that I bought for myself.
Yeah.
That's what I've been on for a while.
And, like, it's getting hotter. And, like, last summer, we went... No, I know.
Continue. Sorry.
But, like, last summer, we were going... up and down everywhere. We're going to the beach, and I'm so excited because the lake's filling up, and I'm fucking ready for adventure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great summer. I am looking forward to this one. We're older, we have more money. I feel like we're all growing as individuals.
We're looking for Zeke's second car,
and I'm looking for another vehicle. Like we're all just fucking chugging along, and it's like really cool. No great Subway. You eat that a lot.
No, I don't.
Just for like a week.
Because everybody wanted Subway.
Yeah, I don't know. Not me. But I did eat it actually.
Yeah.
Fuck. We're talking about Us. Me and you. All of us. The movie Us by is it Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
No, it's not Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson.
That's
a different
Jordan
guy.
Peele.
Yeah, I know. Jordan Peterson, that's a whole different fucking guy. That's not even the same. They're both famous people. Just different sections of
I need to stop saying before actually hearing you out.
Yeah.
Because of the last podcast I was listening to and I was like, what the fuck?
No, you just say yeah. If I say it confidently, I
you
feel
start talking and I'm like, yeah. You said
yeah.
like marijuana Sublime or marijuana by Sublime, and I was like, yeah. That's what it's called.
Yeah, and I'm like, sure.
And I was like, what the fuck?
It's probably not what it was. But yeah, Jordan Peele of the famous duo
Key and Peele.
There it is. Yeah, he originally did comedy, but he said in multiple interviews and a bunch of other things that horror has become like his passion, and throughout his career, it's always been his passion. He's had to change some of like how he writes things and does things to create this film, right? Like he really cut back on smoking weed because he feel like it was kind of like a,
for him it was like a cloudy
it was like a pit stop or something. Yeah, so the movie,
he does better without it. Which is really cool. Like I don't think I knew he made scary movies like Get Out and all of that. Like I had seen them. I had no idea those were by him.
Oh yeah,
until like a while later, and then I was like, "That's fucking cool."
I knew of him through comedy, and it's just so interesting to find someone who just kind of does like a 180 on their career and like becomes a director. I imagine
we watch similar things, right? When like doing research on the movie, like I loved hearing him talk.
Mm-hmm. He just seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
To me, he just seems like a really like outgoing, just a fun guy. So the way that we watched this film, this one we watched at the same time. Zeke said that you guys had the movie on hand, right? Like a physical copy, and I was making fun of you guys because everything goes through digital nowadays.
Because we got Redbox.
That's not what I didn't even. I was not even gonna mention anything.
You have a smile on your face.
Yeah, because it's fucking weird to me. It's just with the times, we evolve. I understand having a physical copy. I'm not shitting on having a physical copy if you own it. If it's one of your favorite movies, Blu-ray, having that whole experience, it's different. Because like when watching it through streaming platforms, like it's not 4K. Like the Dolby sound, that the original mix is different. Like it definitely becomes compressed, and it's not the same exact film.
Yeah, what happened is we were at Walmart, and it was like a Saturday, and we have like a few hours to kill, and we had nothing going on. And like I realized in hindsight, like we have Vudu, and I could have just rented it on Vudu, right? But he was like, "Oh, Redbox, like let's get some movies," and I was like, "Yeah." And then like I didn't even fucking think about it until you came over and you were like, "Redbox, what's the?"
I didn't know you guys didn't have internet.
You know what was cool about it though? Oh yeah, we were in between. We're still in between getting Wi-Fi. Yeah. Just because we keep
the bonus
forgetting.
facts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
that's a cool part.
I
appreciated that.
I'm really happy we got it because of that, because it has all the little bonus features and and like the scenes.
Yeah, I had interviews with the different actors and like the credits and stuff. When you watch it like on a streaming platform like Netflix or HBO Maximo or whatever, you don't get to see those extra little things that like they jam into a disc.
Yeah, and then since we took a while to record, I went and tried to find like on YouTube to refresh my memory, and there's not a lot on there. Like, the stuff that we saw on the DVD, I was like, a lot of it was kind of repeating. Dude, yeah, and I almost wanted to go and rent it again just to watch the extras.
Yeah, no, I noticed that because I was also doing research.
Unlike The Exorcist, and they didn't have that for us.
And which is very interesting. Everyone kept trying to explain the ending and not trying to explain like the ideology behind it. And I kept seeing that. I found like my own meaning and how I felt about the film. There's just a lot for me to unpack.
Okay, so as a general rating, how do you feel about it?
As a general rating, like a fucking 2 out of 7.
Wait, really?
No, it's good.
Oh,
I just think rating like that, or it's kind of arbitrary.
I don't mean like stars. Like, I mean like general. Like, how do you feel? Like, you know what I mean? Like when we came into The Exorcist, you were like, I didn't expect all this stuff. All the different metaphors and shit.
Yeah, no. When I first started watching it, I didn't really know what to expect, and I was just trying to figure out what the tone was for this film. I know he made Get Out before. I remember just trying to take everything in. Right, like the soundtrack, every like,
and then it's already like from the beginning flashing little things here and there.
From the beginning, it just drops you in it. Like I would say, it's very
little,
quick.
Like pictures, you know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm gonna try to figure out what that's about as I watch.
Felt like the movie went by very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Like,
how long is it?
I'm not sure. There was just so much to it.
Yeah.
That I feel like I didn't have a lot of time to unravel.
Because it's just going.
It's just quick. Yeah, it's like you just get into it.
Going on.
There's like not that much room to breathe, and I feel like that's the only criticism I'd have of it. The actors were great. I like all of their aesthetics. There's like little things here and there that I picked up. Abraham, which is like the evil version of the husband, got the glasses and put it on him, and he was like, "Whoa, this is what clear vision is," and it's kind of like a separation of like what.
Privilege.
Yeah, like privilege. But like I want to step away from the word privilege because it became very politicized. And so for me it's more like I'm gonna say maybe like opportunity or some other word. I know they mean the same, but when you say privilege, it brings up this whole fucking discussion and thought process behind this whole movement and shit.
Yeah,
You know
people
what I
who are
mean?
like,
And
I
that
get what you're saying.
exactly
Like, oh,
so
I work to be here, da, 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 but it's like, okay, but step
exactly
aside.
definitely like a difference in like some people, and I think that's a little like veneer,
But
like a veil that's
I
thrown
feel like
across the whole
it's.
film.
I don't
Is
think we should veer away from the word because in this movie specifically, we're literally talking about underground people. You know what I mean? Step away from your fucking
And that's what
whatever.
I'm just saying for the sake of like fucking people listening. I'm not trying to step away from the meaning. I'm trying to step away
Yeah,
from
the word itself.
the word itself.
Because it's triggering.
But yeah, like the little things like that were pretty cool. I keep thinking about the twists and turns of the film. Those really stick into my mind, and I just don't want to jump into them too quickly. Trying to collect my thoughts. I'm worried that I'm just gonna go do a play by play of the film.
Yeah.
To explain some things.
And you don't want to do that.
And I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to pick up, but because it goes by so quickly, I feel like some things are very forgettable. I've talked to someone and I asked them, "Have you seen this movie Us?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Yeah, I've seen it." And I asked her, like, "What do you think of it?" And she's like, "Honestly, I don't remember anything." And I think if anything, that's
Because
one of
it's
the
so...
not because it's so fast, but because it takes so many tropes from other films. And I know he's trying to do it as a callback, like he did the red suits because he said something about Freddy Krueger and like the soundtrack and stuff like that. And I think in his way of paying homage to the past,
he
he's
packed a fuck ton of stuff.
yeah,
in it.
but in doing that, it's kind of it made it all kind of
Yeah,
forgettable and fast and kind of like no one. And when I talked to this person, they didn't seem to remember anything. I had to like re-jog their memory of the film. And like even when we're talking about it now, I'm having trouble thinking about like super iconic parts because it's sad to say, but like although the message is very interesting and like the ideas and like the philosophical parts of it are very interesting, there's nothing in it that sticks out of my head all that much.
When we watched it on Redbox, that was also my very first time. Well, when you watched it, that was my second time watching it because I watched it the day prior too.
Yeah.
But I remember when it came out, and I was like, theaters were open, obviously, and everyone was going, and I was like watching everyone's stories as they were like, I saw a lot of people talking about it in a negative way, like hella people were saying that it sucked, and then like I watched it and I was like, I thought that was really fucking good. I'm trying to see it in like a regular person's point of view, because
I
like
think
we've talked about this, like when we watch scary movies, we watch it to like
analyze?
look for me. Yeah, we're analyzing it.
If I was to look
like,
at it
I
from
appreciate
what's a stereotypical scary movie, can I get this stereotypical fright and fear and interest and like adrenaline from this movie? And it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that because I think the way that they market it was like, oh my god, there's double. Why is there double?
Yeah.
You know, kind of a thing. And it's like it's very that question doesn't really last very long. That has become the focus of it, and it's very much just into the action.
For like symbolism.
Yeah, no, and that's what I realized when talking to this person. I was talking to them about the symbolism. And what got me to really question a lot about the film was when the main character asked, "Who are you?" And then the response
Americans.
was, "Yeah," that was the response, and I was like, "That's such a really weird
and
thing
I imagine
to respond."
Your typical Joe Schmo heard that and was like, "What the fuck?"
Exactly,
like,
and
that's stupid.
Yeah, and didn't think much of it.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Me and you heard that, and we were like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
That means
like,
something.
Exactly.
And that's what made me go into it. But I don't think that you're a normal person. And if you look at the ratings of this film, like online,
are they shit?
Yeah, the people are like 60%. Like,
oh, and that makes me kind of like
it's very well done, but like I see the problems. There are problems.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tropes. Like not tropes, but there's a lot of like callbacks and like similarities, like in aesthetic and colors.
Like the common person watching.
Yeah, like these things that I feel like I've seen that before. No one gives like why the fuck is there scissors? And like yeah, there's a deep meaning behind the scissors, and they're trying to make this iconic thing, but it's all happens so fast and it's so action based.
I know.
And a lot of horror films that are classics, they're not really like just based on the action itself. They're based off the fear and the anticipation of things. And I think that's where this movie differed. This movie didn't go for the
this
oh my
movie
god,
was
super
all
suspenseful.
About symbolism.
Yeah, but also about action. Fucking killing this, killing like that, like fucking fighting.
Gore.
Yeah, there was blood, but it was very much just quick pace. What's your kill count? Mine was 3. Mine was 2. Oh, like they did that whole thing. And what I'm saying is like action is very forgettable unless it's like a scene in the movie that is very crucial and like important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like how many people remember like the fight scene with like fucking Dominic Toretto for the first time and like The Rock. Like that's fucking wild. You know, you see these stars, and in the film you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? These two big fucking dudes. When like Iron Man gets the fucking Hulk Buster and beats up Hulk, like oh my god, these guys are friends. Like action scenes stick in your mind when they're important or you've never seen this before or just very
But
crucial
when
to
it's
the
all
plot.
action, it's just
People forget it. Like name all the fight scenes and like the Expendables or like any of this shit, like any action movie. Like it's fun to see action, and it definitely was fun watching this movie. But action doesn't mean that it's gonna be memorable, and I think that's where like certain things kind of just fell off. They did a lot of things right for people who gave a shit and would like look at it and analyze it, like me and you. But to your average, like dude, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but like if we
no.
ask
I get what
Zeke,
you're saying.
like he would be like, I don't remember,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of this, because it's like that the cool parts were the action parts, and then
Yeah.
like
But I feel like that doesn't work for Zeke specifically, because to Zeke he's just scared 24/7. Like
Yeah.
I loved watching it with him because he was literally like screaming the entire time when like one of them starts to run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. It's
So
like,
I think that was like the shortcoming of the film, and that's why people don't really appreciate it. It's so confusing. It's really hard to
okay.
talk.
As the movie goes, you think like this
You think
girl just saw something traumatizing,
You
whatever.
think yeah.
And then like they come out, right? The underground people come out, and you're rooting for the
Like
regular people to fight for their lives. And then you come to find out Underground Red, Adelaide,
is actually the OG.
is the original.
Yeah.
And she got her life fucking stolen from her.
Yeah.
She was meant to live this life, and that's why she came for vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
And then like your feelings throughout the movie that you were like rooting for this, you know, keep your family safe. You're like, what the fuck? Like now you're like,
she took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you like want to watch it again, and like in another light. I can't believe this bitch.
There's like little hints in the film that show that the OG is underground, and it's when the doppelganger, they're listening to like I Got Five on It. The whole family's in there, and you could see her snapping, and she's like she's not on rhythm.
Yeah.
But you know who else is not on rhythm? The son.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's trying to teach him how to snap on rhythm. They're snapping in unison, but still not to the song. And I feel like that's a hint that like maybe there's a little something weird going on.
And then as they go and they start killing the you know, the people in the red suits, and there's a scene where like she fucking, it's just very aggressive, like stabs, and like the son just watches her like, what the fuck? Because like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like my mom.
A regular person's gonna kill somebody, even like if that's the case.
Yeah.
You're still like, I don't want to be killing people, and she's like into it.
Yes. Very much so. And it's like that moment where you start to realize like, hey, are these guys like who are the real monsters here?
Yeah.
Who are the real problems here?
It's really hard to segue into shit with this movie.
It's just there's so much to it.
There's a lot to talk about, but it's like,
how do you format it? There's just so much. There's just so, I just want to fucking spit out facts about it, but it's like that's not how it goes. Like there's that. So in the beginning of the film, it starts off with the OG, right? Adelaide watching Hands Across America, and then she goes and she's like in the fucking Ferris wheel and what's the thing called, a carnival, with her folks, and her dad like starts fucking around and playing some games and not looking after her.
And then she wanders off into that.
She wanders off. She sees the guy with the sign. There's a lot of like 11, symbolism in this movie about doubles, right? So there's the 11-11 thing. When the other family shows up, there's 4 of them. So 11-11 could mean like the mirror to itself, right? So
Jeremiah 11-11.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of like mirror, like clone things thrown out, sprinkled in within the film. One of them is 11-11, right? Because there's like one person of the family can represent each of the ones, because there's a family of 4, and then there's like like the first 2 being like someone, the
colon being like
the mirror, and then it like being a reflection, and like that's what I was saying.
And then there's the physical mirrors.
Yeah, and then there's house. Like definitely, and then like when she smashed, when Red
just do it. Just see what happens.
So the fucking life taker gets smashed by the OG onto the fucking glass. There's a coffee table and it's made of glass, and then her reflection is being reflected off of it,
Oh.
and she's like smashing through it, kind of being like, this is over, there is no other copy, it's just me.
Yeah.
She's smashing her head through the glass, which was the reflection. So there's like little things like that being thrown in of like reflecting and like who we are. And I think that the reason why it's called Us, and the way he says it's like about us, is that it's about the United States.
It has a double meaning.
Yeah, it has like multiple meanings, but I like the one that I'm connected to the most is that it's a reflection of how how us in the States like see other people and outsiders.
Yeah.
Right, because it's literally, I mean, it's fucking literally U.S. us, and it's like a fear of the other side of like what we don't understand. When we're in war with someone, we make them seem like they're monsters, but no, they're just other human beings.
It's their normal.
Yeah, it's
and
their
they're
normal.
being fed these different things.
Exactly. And like when they fight back, it's like, oh, we're the
they're
heroes.
being told, yeah,
like we're the heroes because we're fighting them. But it's like, bro, it's the circumstance in which they live that even caused, in this case, the underground people to come back up and to try to fight back, to take back their lives. Like it's just this whole fucking allegory for we are the monsters. Like we're not so different. It's like this kind of divide that people have, that just because you're against me, that you're not a human, that you're a monster, that you're this thing. But they're literally fucking clones of who we are. She mentions how I had a kid and you had a kid at the same time. Like my kid was more fucked up because of our circumstances, but like
you were eating hot meals and we were eating raw. Animals.
Raw fucking chickens or rabbits. It's hard. It's very fucking hard to talk about this unless you have the shit right in front of your face, because there's just so much. It could be about consumerism, how Gabe measures himself up against the other family, like, oh, I have this, but they have
materialistic
more.
Things.
Yeah, and like that's what he's focused on. When the doppelganger family shows up, he's like, you can have my watch, you can have whatever you want. Like, I know you're just. And then she's like, no, that's not what the fuck they're here for.
Everyone's trying to tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because in his mind and in his world, part of us as Americans, like we think like, oh, people are only out to get us for our things, for what we have.
Yeah.
But like, no, it's like it's a little bit about that, right? But we want to be equals. We also want to be on this plane.
We want to live that life.
Yeah, we want to live that life. And just because you give us handouts doesn't mean that we have that life, the same opportunity, the equality.
But yeah, when Red's talking about like you had hot cooked meals and I had this in the world, it's like you're wearing these clothes, and they're being made by these fucking kids in a sweatshop. Like, you get to go out and wear this nice shirt.
Yeah, you don't have to work.
And I stay in this fucking sweaty basement and work all day just to get something to eat.
Yeah.
And the shit people do, like the Hands Across America, had to do with the fact that people think things people do to clear their conscience.
Yeah.
But what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
You didn't do anything.
Through Hands Across America, and what it was a bunch of celebrities raising money or whatever for the poor, for the less fortunate, for like other people who didn't have much. By the way, apparently it ended in like failure. Like it was a failure.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I think it's interesting that like that's the last thing she saw, like as a kid, like before she swapped with the doppelganger. Mm-hmm. There's like
when
few
she
things
got robbed of her life.
When she got robbed of her life,
memory.
The last things that she remembers is like the Hands Across America thing. I think she had like a Michael Jackson shirt on or something like that.
Yeah, she won at the...
Yeah, and it's like that explains why they have like the one glove thing and the whole, like when they come back, they do the Hands Across America thing. It's one of the last grand gestures of humanity that she remembers, but it's also like a way to get them noticed. Yeah.
But yeah, and also like to show their power, like we're taking our power back.
Exactly. When you put this whole narrative together, that you start realizing that this film has more to it than just the killing and things like that, where there is like a message to it, where we're not so different. And like it's unfortunate that they didn't get to explore that a little bit more, because it was packed really tightly as a film, and you don't really get to think of that as a viewer. And I wish, and everything was just so hidden. There are films where like the symbolism is kind of like right in your face, like as the movie's progressing you're like, oh, I kind of get it now. But this one was a lot of like little things dropped around.
I feel like they almost could have showed the underground throughout the beginning.
That would have been great, right?
Yeah.
If they showed what it was like to live under there while showing her growing up.
That would have really like helped more people
drive the message.
Understand.
Yeah, very much. I think it would have changed the rating that other people had, because there's like so many things that I feel like you probably went through it, and I know that I did, was to really get the full scope of what this film was. you have to dig more into it, and you have to find out these things. And I think that's why we're having such a tough time talking about it right now.
Yeah, like
Because
that's why, like when you watched it for the first time, and that was
Mhm.
my second time watching it, like I really appreciated it because now I knew how it ended, and I was
Yeah.
watching it through a different lens the second time
Mhm.
around.
I recommend just anyone to watch it and kind of go into it and see what you get out of it, because that's kind of what I got, and a lot of people also kind of understood, because it kind of feels like an I Spy of a movie. Yeah, so it feels like a game of like finding the meaning within the film, and that's
Because
where a lot
once
of
you do, like I think it's pretty. This
it's
is
pretty
honestly one
cool.
of my big favorite movies.
It's really good, but to talk about it and try to explain it to someone else, I feel like is very difficult, and like I hope people try to watch this and maybe it makes them go and watch it. And if it's a mess, then I'm sorry, but it's that like detailed of a film, and you could see his love in it. You know, you can see how much he cared about this project and really wanted it to make it work. And I understand why he did the decisions that he did, and I'm sure the action was to kind of go towards like a more modern feel with films. Like the stereotype is like we have a short attention span, right?
Yeah.
And if you keep the action coming, then
Is it a stereotype though? I mean, I feel
no,
like
you're
this
right.
movie proved exactly that,
Mm-hmm.
and the ratings proved that.
It's just very difficult to keep someone's attention, but I think this is the kind of film that would keep your attention. And at the end, you may not fully get it if you're not trying to dig in for meaning, but you're gonna be like, "Wow, that was a trip." It was definitely a trip.
Yeah.
Like at the very least, I'd say that. This is very original. This is different. Like there's a lot of action in this, and the acting is really good, especially the kids, man. Every time all of the films that we watch have impressed me with the acting.
Yeah.
And this one has probably been the most. To play like two characters at once who have completely different feels, right? There was like Adelaide and then Red, who one of them moved like a fucking cockroach, right, when they were like fighting and shit, and then the other one was like just so plain in comparison. And then you had like the husband who was like very materialistic, was joking
like,
around and fucking around, just having a good time, and then having the other one who wouldn't speak, and who he would just be all action, kind of a brute, kind of like a Frankenstein of a fucking wall.
I saw he like explained that, and it was that like Gabe is like not your typical, masculine guy.
Yeah.
He's just like this loving dad who's trying to be.
Yeah, he's just trying to have a good time, kind of.
His underground version, Abraham, is supposed to be like that other side of him, which is like another thing that I really like is the fear of seeing yourself and the fear of knowing your true self. It made me think of this thing I saw a long time ago that says like masks. It's 3 masks. There's the first one that everybody sees, and then there's a second one that you show to like people who are closest to you, and then there's a third one that nobody knows, that only you and yourself have to find, and like the world will never fucking know that third mask. That's what like I thought of in this movie, because like the underground version of them is supposed to be that like the third mask. Yeah.
That's interesting. The children also did a fucking great job. The daughter, right? There's like the good and the bad, or however you want to call it. So the above ground one, she's in track. And I think it's funny that she tries to outrun the other one, but it's like you guys are the same. So to try to outrun is like futile. And you see it with the underground daughter. She smirks because she knows that it's like we're the fucking same person.
And then it's like when you think back to like, or I guess it's later on when you see the underground, that as they're living above, they're doing the same thing down down
they're
in the
mimicking
bottom.
the same thing.
So it's like, girl, every time you were running, she was running too. It was just underground.
Yeah.
Dude, when she starts fucking stretching, I already knew. I was like, I didn't know about the underground yet, but I was already like, what are you doing? She's you.
Yeah. You're like, what are you gonna run from?
Yeah. There's also another like cool symbolism thing, back to like like you're gonna run away from who you really are, like
because they're like a shadow.
Yeah,
how are you gonna run away from your shadow? You are you. You can't hide who you are.
I love this movie so much. I don't care what anybody says, this is like one of my top now.
It's very cool. I also like the boy. He was so different. His opposite was Pluto, which was the underground kid. Well, I thought it was super interesting how there's this theory about the film where he also swapped with himself. And that's why he's so weird. In the film, they keep talking about, like, oh, your little brother, he's so weird.
Yeah.
And I brought it up earlier where he can't keep rhythm with the song, but he could keep rhythm with his mom, who also swapped. And that's why, like, he didn't flinch or don't really care when his mom was fucking smashing faces in, and then they made eye contact. He didn't give a shit. And then at the end,
But do you think he knows?
he is one. He was swapped too. Like, that's what
you're saying that he swapped, but like, what if he was swapped and he didn't know? Like, because towards the end, it's like he's having a realization. Like,
but he's not as scared. And I think it's in solidarity of, like, we know who we are, not in terror. Like, if he didn't know he was swapped, don't you think he would have been fucking terrified? Not once was he ever scared. He in fact killed himself by walking backwards. How did he know that?
I don't know about that one.
You don't think
that's interesting?
You don't think he was swapped? And they were just like nodding. He nodded with her. They didn't have the same.
He wasn't nodding. He was just staring at her.
I don't know. All right. Fuck,
like,
it's just me. No, it's me. If you don't, if you don't buy it, then you don't buy it. That fucker was swapped, dog, and I know it because he didn't know how to use the fucking fire thing that apparently he knew how to use before. Just, I don't know, man. I think he was swapped.
That's interesting.
I think he was swapped, and he knows it, and he has him and his mom. And it shows it between the fucking weird rhythm thing that they had going on and the looks that they gave each other and how he wasn't fucking scared of whatever. I mean, he was originally, but then, like, he got over it rather quickly and he knew how to kill himself. I just think he was, man. That's what I believe. I think only half of the family was
I feel like I need to watch it a third time.
Oh, for that one? Well, I mean, some people don't believe it. Like, I think there's some other...
Because the way I saw it was that he was just, like, a very intelligent kid. You know, like, just very aware.
Yeah.
And it's kind of,
I mean,
like...
that could be it. Like, honestly, it's the theory, like...
Yeah, and then also, like... But, like, he could have a social disorder.
I mean, he could. I don't know.
I
don't know what to do with this anymore.
Because you're saying, like, that's why people thought he was weird, because he's also swapped. I'm like, or he was just... He had some kind of social disorder, and, like, he's a really smart kid.
Oh.
And that's why people thought he was odd.
He just didn't have rhythm.
Well,
he just
I don't fucking know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I know there's still so much we haven't talked about, and I don't even.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to, like, bring it up.
Yeah, it feels like this is very scattered. I mean, I feel like we did what we tried to. We did what we tried to. And, like, whatever it is, it is what it is. And
I have this, like, feeling in my chest. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, this, like, I have so much to say, but I'm trying to, like...
Yeah.
And, like...
I don't know. I'm just worried that this is all not going to be usable.
I know.
This is what I'm worried about. That this isn't...
Like, this right here, this is just me and you trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Seriously.
Like... Ugh.
They're not all going to be 10 out of 10s.
I know, but, like... I'm upset because this is such a good movie.
And we're not doing it justice.
I know.
We're not doing it justice. Everything.
Fuck. Okay, the bunnies. Can we talk about the bunnies?
Let's talk about the bunnies.
You asked, like, as you were watching, what's
up with the bunnies?
Yeah.
While they were experimenting with rabbits, and then the people who became the clones kind of let them out, and the rabbits just started fucking, and then that was their source of food. Is there more? Did I miss it?
No,
I missed that one.
There was no indefinite explanation for the rabbits. Even Jordan Peele himself, like, gave a few different answers, and it kind of just seemed like, I don't want to say, like, lazy. In this one, he talked about how he did Deer with Get Out, so he wanted to do rabbits with us, and then he just, like I said, he gave, like, 4 different answers. I think on one of them he said Easter, because there are, like, religious ties to it. The one that I liked the most, that kind of made the most sense to me, was that he kind of wanted to just make you think, and kind of like, what the underground people, was it a science experiment like you're saying, or was it something like godly? And that's what, like, the religion aspect is. It's kind of just to, like, fuck with you.
I don't know anything about.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he said. That's what I'm like.
It sounds very confusing.
Right. And I'm kind of just like...
If anyone fucking figures it out, please fucking let me know. Because when I was watching the movie, I think I audibly might have said, "What's up with the fucking rabbits?"
Yeah, you did. And, like, and that's what I wanted to know, too. I'm like, what's up with the rabbits? And that's what I'm fucking saying.
Maybe it's one of those things... I didn't even think
he knew what was up with the rabbits.
Here's another one that I thought of. What if it's like a Alice in Wonderland thing?
Yeah,
where
that's also what he said. That's
she's
what
going down.
Oh, my God. God.
She was going down the rabbit hole and she kept finding
Yeah.
more and more rabbits. But I'm like,
But like down the rabbit hole.
that's it for
underground,
just for that one
different
scene.
universe.
Yeah, like was it that was just for that
Do you
one
get what
scene?
I'm saying? Like that just throws
It
everything.
just
like,
doesn't. Yeah, everything
warps.
seems so tight and so like layered. And then you go to the rabbits and you're like, what about the rabbits?
That makes me so fucking
That's
anxious.
like the loosest end.
You know what?
of-
I respect him so fucking much as
Yeah.
like a maker
Creative,
of horror. Yeah, as it like. But what it seems to me is like he reminds me of when I was like taking English 1
You were
and I was trying to come up with my my thoughts. He
he
that
was
right there-
fanboy. I feel like a lot of his shit is just kind of like
he
I
has
love
so
horror.
much passion, so
Yeah.
much love and passion for the genre, but like it just
It's
reminds me
coming
of
out
like
in
the
a-
word jumble. Like
Yeah.
what I would just fucking write different ideas that popped into my head,
Mhm.
and I was just like this, that, and then like he just put it all into a movie, and I'm like, whoa,
Great passion, but not the greatest execution, and not.
But I respect him so much for it
Yeah,
because
no,
I'm like,
for sure.
I'm right there with you, buddy. But like,
You can see that he loves this genre, and he's trying to like be iconic with it. He kept saying that he wanted it to be iconic with the suits
Yeah.
and what the scissors because they're connected,
and
but they're trying to
that's
cut the
another
tie.
symbolism, duality,
Yeah,
which is one
Bro.
of my favorite misfits Slipknot songs. Sorry. Fucking rabbits, dude.
I don't know. Fucking rabbits.
I wanted to see what like you found.
I can no, not a lot.
Because what I found was like hitting a wall with the fucking jackhammer, and there was another wall behind it.
Yeah. Here's like my final fucking thoughts. Right.
Okay.
I respect the execution, the modern cinema twist to like classic ideas. I respect the little drops of like the little nuggets of cool things that he kept dropping.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot to take in, even as like I like
so much and so little.
it's
you know?
understandable why it got a bad rating for
Yeah. For like your
those who are
average,
just
yeah.
looking for excitement or
It
whatever.
just feels like it came so far and fell so short. I like this. I like the style of it.
It's been 3-4 years. now?
I want him to keep making stuff, and I know he'll get better and better at it. I respect the grind. I think a lot of this stuff's cool. The soundtrack was cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that he hit right on the fucking head. But maybe
I
it's
think
because
he could do
maybe it's
do
because
justice. Sorry.
do Justice League
With
Oh,
do justice with a sequel.
oh yeah. I think with time, I think it's a thing about how maybe he's just a newer director to the genre, and he's just starting off.
He's excited.
Yeah, that's what it is. With experience, and as he keeps going, they'll be better and better. But they're not all gonna be like this podcast. They're not all gonna be fucking home runs. But please respect the
Oh
grind.
my gosh, I can't wait to see what you make of this. After
Whatever.
you fucking edit this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think he could pull through with the sequel and like tie a bunch of loose ends together.
Mhm.
Like he said all these different answers about like explaining the rabbits, and it's like, okay, do something with that.
Mhm.
Make a second one and explain
the
that.
rabbits.
Explain like tie all your loose ends together
Mhm.
and fucking wow those jackasses who gave you this rating because they couldn't wrap their little
Yeah.
heads around it. Because I know he can do it. He's so
Yeah.
he's so
He-
good.
It looked great. Felt great. A lot of action sequences, which were pretty cool. The boats. There was a lot of jokes. Everyone was
I
driving.
would be the first
together.
in line to watch
Yeah.
the sequel.
Keep doing what you're doing. Please don't think we don't. We love this. This is a great fucking. film.
Imagine
he listens to it.
he
He's
makes
like,
a
"Hey."
sequel because of this podcast.
Oh, please.
He's one of our 90 viewers, our 15 on a bad
Yeah.
day.
So, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about the fucking. I don't know if you do. Or,
No, that's it.
fucking shit, dude.
I just
We promised a good movie. We promise. Good. Peace and love. Peace and love. Fuck, dude. What am I doing?
that was a mess. That was a mess.